I met up with my longtime mobile friends Kevin and Michael at CES 2024 to talk about their new company and its first product, the Clicks keyboard. We chatted about their long history of using phones with physical keyboards, their extreme attention to every detail in keyboard development, and the hard work they were putting into this new keyboard accessory. As soon as pre-orders launched, I ordered my own London Sky color for the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and then a month or so later they sent along a Bumblebee one to test out for ZDNet. Hello everybody, this is Matthew Miller, otherwise known as Palm Solo, on the Mobile with Matt channel here on YouTube. I appreciate your views and your support. If you want to leave a comment, go ahead and I'll respond. So while I had the chance to test out a few prototype models at CES, I've been using the Clicks for a few months on my iPhone 15 Pro Max. It has lived on my iPhone since it arrived, except while out running, biking, and in a few instances where I needed to pocket a smaller phone. With running, I just didn't want to carry such a big device, as you can see here. And while biking, I actually like to use the Peak Design everyday case with a mount to mount it to my bike. So there's a few instances when I will take the iPhone out of the case, but for the most part, it's lived inside the case. And one great feature of that case is the ease and simplicity that there is with removing and inserting your phone into and out of the keyboard. It's very simple. Just make sure to bend the top of the keyboard case back just ever so gently and slide the iPhone straight in. Try not to slide that iPhone at an angle or you might bend that USB-C or Lightning port connector. Clicks is a one-piece accessory with a silicone body that has a soft silicone edges around there and a rigid back panel. There are raised buttons that are present along the right and left side in order for the volume buttons and the action buttons. And then the rigid frame surrounds that back camera array as well. It's soft there and then rigid around there. And there's also a textured lower vegan leather portion on the back, which is very nice for holding on to and for keeping sliding around a table. The word Clicks is also located on the upper right side of the case. 36 buttons are positioned at the bottom of the case, and trust me, a lot of attention went into the placement and design of these keys. If you could have seen all the different prototypes of the different variations as they went through what was the optimal design for this case, a lot of attention to detail and work went into this. The keyboard is powered by the connection to your phone, whether it's Lightning or USB-C, and the keyboard even has a backlight for entering text in low light conditions. Pass-through charging and wireless charging are supported by the keyboard, but I discovered that my Viture Pro XR glasses do not work with the Clicks keyboard in place, and Apple CarPlay through the USB-C port also does not work. So there are times that I have to remove my iPhone as functionality is a bit limited in this current version with the USB-C and the Lightning connection. When I first heard about Clicks and I saw it at CES, I thought, oh, there must be an application and a bunch of hacking going on in order to be able to use that keyboard with iOS. Thankfully, it's pretty amazing. Clicks has the ability to seamlessly connect with iOS without any need for a third-party application or anything else to support the keyboard. There's a left shift button, 1, 2, 3 button for numbers and symbols, command button to use iOS native shortcuts, another button to show and hide the keyboard and access emojis, a tab button to select word predictions and autocomplete, and even a microphone button so that you can quickly enter speech to text or launch Siri. I use speech to text quite a bit for text messaging and things like that, and to have a single button available on the keyboard really adds a lot of fake functionality and efficiency to my experience. There are a few native iOS shortcuts that you can use, and I won't go into all those details, but I'll talk about a couple of them. The Command and H button will take you back to the home screen. The Command and Space bar will launch iOS search, and if you're in Safari or Chrome or a browser, just push the space bar and keep pressing it, and it will scroll down web pages. You can also tap any button on the keyboard with Face ID, and it will wake your iPhone. If you're in Messages, hit Command N to compose a new message and Command R to reply to a message. There are many, many more shortcuts that you can discover and spend time with. There's a lot to explore with shortcuts, and some third-party applications may also support shortcuts. There's an extensive tutorial on how to fully optimize your Clicks keyboard, thanks in large part to those iOS shortcuts functionality. I read this article and then spent an hour creating shortcuts that transformed the Clicks keyboard into an amazingly productive and efficient tool beyond entering text. See the link below this video for a link to how to set up those shortcuts and spend hours and hours creating shortcuts for your Clicks keyboard. So while text entry on a physical keyboard may be the most obvious use for Clicks keyboard, using the native iOS shortcuts and setting up custom ones in the Shortcuts app is where the extreme power of Clicks comes into play. It is refreshing to have the full entire display of my iPhone 15 Pro Max available to me all the time, instead of having pop-up keyboard that consumes about a third of my display. I also hate the default iPhone keyboard compared to Android, and I find that trying to use third-party keyboards is really an exercise in frustration, as they just don't seem to stay in place. My biggest challenge now with Clicks is memorizing all the shortcuts I have created. But the ability to quickly launch apps, repeat regular actions easily, and enjoy the full display of my iPhone is well worth the effort. My biggest challenge now with Clicks is memorizing all the shortcuts I've created, but the ability to quickly launch apps, repeat regular actions easily, and enjoy the full display of my iPhone is well worth the effort. There is also a Clicks application for the iPhone that lets you control backlight settings, including the intensity and the dimming timeout, and manage a few other button settings. These include caps lock, alt lock, and soft return. In addition, the app is used to update the firmware of the keyboard to the latest and greatest functionality. Since I've been using the Clicks keyboard for a few months, I think I have a few things to say about the pros and cons of my experiences. Number one, an excellent button design and function. Even though my fingers and thumbs may be a little bit bigger than some others, I have no problem entering text quickly using my thumbs and holding on to the keyboard. The ability to view and use the full display of my iPhone is revolutionary with the keyboard, and I really enjoy that part. I also like that it's powered by the iPhone, and I really have seen negligible battery impact using the keyboard or even the backlight. And the Clicks app provides some useful settings to be able to customize some of those buttons for even more efficiency. But like with every product, this is a first generation product, and there's some lessons learned and some improvements that we may see coming in the future. My first con that actually makes me take the iPhone out of the Clicks case is no support for data pass-through. So if I'm using Apple CarPlay or my Viture glasses or some other data source, I'm not able to pass that through the USB-C connection, so I have to take the iPhone out. And I don't really like to take it out if I don't need to. There's also no native MagSafe support. I did put a sticker on the back of my other case to try to align the MagSafe capability and imitate that, which works pretty well, but it would sure be nice to have MagSafe built into the case itself. Also, as you can see, it does make your iPhone very long and may be unwieldy in some situations. I used this throughout the summer, and wearing shorts, the iPhone definitely stuck out quite a bit. What I end up doing was putting the iPhone in with the face out. That way the keyboard itself would stick out of my pocket, and it would result in people questioning me and asking me why there's a keyboard sticking out of my pocket. And then I could explain all about the Clicks keyboard. So if we move on to pricing, Clicks is available for the 2 iPhone 14 Pro models and all 4 of the iPhone 15 models. The smaller model for the smaller phones is $139, and the larger phones is priced at $159. In addition to the London Sky and the Bumblebee colors that I have, you can also purchase Royal Ink, which is a blue, and Miami Beach, which is a pink keyboard. I bought the Clicks keyboard at first to support my friends and their new company, as well as because of the nostalgia, since I'm a long-time physical keyboard user since I've been using devices for more than 20 years. It brought back those feelings of using a Windows Phone device and a BlackBerry device and having a physical keyboard, and I enjoyed that. However, I ended up really enjoying the full viewing of the iPhone display, and using my iPhone without Clicks has been a bit jarring at times, getting used to the keyboard taking up about a third of the display. I would love to see MagSafe support, and I have tried, as I mentioned, that third-party sticker, which just didn't work so well. It's pretty timely I happen to be recording this video right at this time, because just this morning I received an email that Clicks announced their iPhone 16 models. And that's great, because now it's going to fit, the new Clicks keyboard will fit in the new iPhone 16 models. But what they've done with that is not just change the form factor to be able to fit the new iPhone 16 models, but they improved the Clicks keyboard itself. It now supports MagSafe natively in the case, and data pass-through is also supported. So 2 of my biggest cons with the current generation are in the iPhone 16. And I've been on the fence about whether or not I was going to upgrade to an iPhone 16 Pro Max or not. and wondering if I was just going to continue to use the Clicks keyboard with my iPhone 15 Pro Max, I'm going to place an order now for the iPhone 16 Pro Max with the improved Clicks keyboard as well. The Clicks keyboard is not an inexpensive accessory. There is pretty pricey at $139 and $159, but I have to say, after several months of using it, it has really made it worth it for me, and I enjoy the experience of a hardware keyboard and that full display. Each person has to make their own choice, and the great thing is, nowadays, is you can actually find the Clicks keyboard at Best Buy retail stores. So you can go into a store, check out the keyboard for yourself, try it out, and see if it's a fit for you or not. I am really loving the Clicks keyboard, and now with that, 2 major cons have been improved in the iPhone 16. I can't wait till my iPhone 16 Pro Max arrives and I get to use the Clicks again. Thanks everybody for watching. Please subscribe and share. Interact with me here and stay tuned for more coverage of health and wellness gear, e-bikes, wearables, smartphones, and other mobile technology. And may the mobile force be with you.